this is Intuitive Edge. Welcome to my channel. This is where we take an intuitive look at what's going on in our world. Today I want to take a look at President Trump and his thoughts on the Second Amendment. Now, there's been a lot in the news about this. The Second Amendment's been in the news quite a bit, and his base, President Trump's base, and others are concerned that that President Trump might be wavering on his thoughts on the Second Amendment. People are kind of wondering where he stands and where this is going to end up. Is he going to support it? Now, a lot of President Trump's base are strong Second Amendment supporters. So is President Trump going to listen to his base? How does he really feel? It seems to me, from what I've seen from Donald Trump in the past, is that he was, for a certain measure of gun control. I don't think he's been a real loose on gun control in the past. But I'm wondering if he's changing his mind on that, or if he's simply recognizing that his base is very much Second Amendment, so maybe he doesn't want to mess with that for those reasons, or what's really going on with this, and do people have a reason to be concerned or not? I laid out a spread a few moments ago, and I just laid out another one. I'm trying to get a feel for what I sense with the president. And the love card came up with the last spread, crossed by the wisdom card. And also the transformation card came up on him, and the crossroads card in the environment. What I think this means is that President Trump, I think, is coming to maybe a little bit of a different perspective. Maybe he's having to look at this issue a little differently. Perhaps he's listening to people in his base with arguments supporting the Second Amendment. I think he's being challenged on this a little bit, to be honest, is what I think. I laid out another spread, this time just really focusing on the president to see what's really going on, perhaps, with him. Now, the first card out was the card of moving on, calm, kind of easing a transition. And on top of that was the chaos card with the tower. So you've got this calm and moving on, and then like calamity tower on top. This, to me, indicates a kind of a tumultuous situation that you're relinquishing control of or relinquishing to. On top of this, we have the Queen, the Empress card. Queen of the Ocean in this deck is the Empress. But that's a card of, it's coming into like a nurturing place, a loving place. And also the Love card again showed up in this card in the future position. So there's something to do with a sort of compassion or willingness or openness with that Empress, and then the Love. Underneath this we have the Wisdom card again, the High Priest. Now, having wisdom come in to this, maybe bringing in a new perspective, it's kind of turning things upside down. We've got conflict and restriction. I think the Second Amendment and gun control in particular, I think this is a challenging issue for President Trump. I don't think it's a natural thing for him to just, be lax on gun control. I think it's more natural for him to support certain types of restrictions. And he's done some of that in his presidency with the bump stocks and whatnot. So I think this is an issue for him. But I sense that with that 6, that kind of having to relinquish and move on. I think he's willing to have a change of heart, or at least look at this a little differently. Probably the number one reason is this is a re-election year coming up on his re-election, and he's got his base, strong Second Amendment supporters. Now, I think he has, I mean, you would think he would have to take that into consideration. You know, you don't want to go into an election year and alienate half of your base or more over an issue like this. So I think he's got to think of that as well. But I do sense with these cards that he's genuinely having a change of heart, or he's softening a little bit or opening his mind a little bit. So perhaps he's been listening to some people that maybe he's listening to their arguments. Tell me your side. Why? Help me understand. Now, we've got the 10 of Wands. This is like taking on a responsibility, taking on a burden. And then the 2 of Wands, vision at the top, meaning having a new outlook or a new way of looking at something, but it feels a little bit like taking on a burden too. So I think he's having to face perhaps what his supporters think regarding this, and maybe having to look at a different point of view and a different way of looking at things. But overall, I think there's a change of heart, and that Love card and that Empress card tell me that there's a softening and a gentleness about it. So I think overall, President Trump is willing to listen to his base, listen to people's thoughts on this issue, and I think that there are people that have his ear that are maybe sharing their thoughts and ideas with him. And I think he genuinely wants to, it feels to me, wants to hear them out. But I think getting past his own, thoughts on what he's always kind of felt about guns, may be a little bit of a challenge. So, but I don't look for this to be something that President Trump's going to take a hard stance on, like a strong gun control. I just don't think that he would do that going into an election year, but you never know with Trump. He's his own guy. He does what he wants. But I do sense a softening with it just a little bit. So, okay, that's all I have for this. I hope that cleared a few things up with him. We'll see what happens. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye-bye.